What's up, Guardians? Welcome back to my channel. And welcome to those new here. I'm R32_Epiphany and I make Destiny to content for all Guardians. So in this video, we will be going over what I consider to be the true meta Stasis Warlock build, and also covering armor mods and many weapon suggestions. Alright, let's hop into it. So first things first, for our super, we will be rocking his Winter Wrath, which states: summon a Stasis staff. While your super is active, cast out a barrage of Stasis shards that freeze targets. Second attack casts out a shockwave that shatters all frozen targets. For our Rift, we will be running Healing Rift, which will heal you and your teammates when you're standing inside of it. For our powered melee, we will be running Penumbral Blast, which states: raise your Stasis staff against your foe. Send a blast of stasis forward to freeze your targets. For our grenade, we will be running Cold Snap Grenade, which states: a grenade that freezes on impact and sends another seeker to find and freeze targets. Next, we will get into our two aspects, with the first one being Glacial Harvest, which states: freezing targets creates stasis shards around the frozen targets. Higher tier combatants create more shards. For our second aspect, we will be running Ice Flare Bolts, which states: shattering a frozen target spawns seekers that track and freeze other nearby targets. Both of these aspects will go hand in hand for this build, and definitely make our exotic armor of choice stand out even more. Next, we will be covering the Fragments, and how they will pair up efficiently and effectively with this whole build. So for our first Fragment, we will be using Whisper of Bonds, which states: defeating frozen targets generates an orb of power. Having the extra orbs will benefit in our ability regen, health, and super energy, making this fragment simple but very effective. For our second Fragment, we will be using Whisper of Shards, which states: shattering a stasis crystal temporarily boosts your grenade recharge rate. Shattering additional stasis crystals increases the duration of this benefit. Having our grenade back is very crucial for this build. For our third Fragment, we will be using Whisper of Refraction, which states: defeating slowed or frozen targets grants you class ability energy. This fragment will help get our class ability back much faster to chain our abilities and pair with our armor mods coming up here very soon. For our fourth Fragment, we will be using Whisper of Fissures, which states: increases the damage and size of burst of stasis when you destroy a stasis crystal or defeat a frozen target. This fragment will pair well with Whisper of Shards and allow for better and clear as well. But wait, I have one final fragment that is mainly a suggestion, and also a personal preference for you, and that is the Fragment Whisper of Rending, which gives your primary ammo weapons increased damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. I have found that it is better to switch the Fragment Whisper of Fissures out for this fragment, because either way the build will still run efficiently. So the choice is totally up to you. Do you want increased damage for primary weapons or a slight boost of ed clear for some ability regen? Next, we are going to get into our armor mods for this build, and show why each fragment will pair well with them. So for our helmet mods, we are running ×1 Harmonic Siphon, ×1 Dynamo, and ×1 Hands-On. For our gauntlets, we are using ×1 Momentum Transfer, ×1 Heavy-Handed, and ×1 Bolstering Detonation. For our chest, we are using ×2 Charged Up mods. For our leg mods, we are using ×1 Stacks on Stacks, ×1 Recuperation, and ×1 Innervation. For our class item, we are using ×1 Utility Kickstart, ×1 Reaper mod, and ×1 Bomber mod. Lastly, we will cover all the weapon suggestions I would recommend for this build. Keep in mind these are personal preferences. If you like a specific weapon for stasis, by all means use that weapon. I make my builds specifically so they are not tied to one specific weapon. So for the first weapon, I'd suggest, and get the elephant out of the room first, which is every stasis user's favorite Ager's Scepter. This trace rifle is a very solid choice for this build, and as most stasis users know, pairs with stasis very well, so definitely a great choice. Next suggestion would be the Kinetic Stasis Wave Frame Special. Grenade launcher, which can be obtained through the Ghosts of the Deep dungeon, located in the Helm directory. This is a very good stasis weapon to pair with this build because of the perks it can have, like demo and redirection. Another suggestion would be the kinetic primary stasis auto rifle horror story with demolitionist. The last 3 suggestions I have are Wicked Implement, Winterbite, and lastly Cryesthesia 77k. All of these weapons would be great choices for this build. Everything for this build will be linked down in the description below and also the pinned comment under this video. So that pretty much sums up everything for this build. I hope you enjoy this build. Also, one last thing I want to cover is the perk Demolitionist. I find this perk to be the best perk on weapons for this build. So if you have one, be sure to put it on. I think this perk really makes this build pop even more. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful in some way, be sure to smash that like button down below, and if you enjoy my content and want to support my channel, hit that subscribe button as well. Currently 98.8% of viewers who watch my content are not subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoy this build, and I hope you found this video to be helpful or useful. And I'll catch you in the next one, Guardians.